I know you're waiting to come back to Vietnam and you don't want to be quarantined. That is just not the truth. That's happening right now. Even if you're vaccinated, you still have to go through 14-day quarantine. But rest assured, we are giving you in-depth information and details today from an expert that just came into Vietnam for work and was quarantined for 14 days. We've invited Mr. Bill Dow, who is North America representative for Bakemex, the largest industrial park developer in Southeast Asia, to share his detailed experience of what it's like to be quarantined, also on arrival to Vietnam, and other details of his stay and how he overcame some of the issues that arose during his quarantine. So we have a special host, Ms. Chang, to interview Mr. Bill Dow of his experience. You're gonna like it, it's very interesting, so please watch and we look forward to seeing you in the video.
Hello, Jane is here and welcome back to our channel, and in today's video I have invited Mr. Bill Dow to come here and answer all of your questions regarding how you can enter Vietnam at the very moment. So let's get started. Hello, Mr. Bill Dow. Thank you for coming with us today in our Duong Global office here in Saigon, and it is my pleasure to have the ability to interview you and also to let our audience know that what is the process would be and how's your life as a quarantine in Vietnam. So first of all, I would like to ask you, how did you book the hotel to come here?
Yes, I came to Vietnam on a program called Expert or Potential Investor. So that's why I was on the commercial flight, not a repatriation flight. In the program called Expert or Potential Investor, you must have a company in Vietnam who invite you, who propose to invite you to come to Vietnam for business trip. They have to choose. The Vietnamese government give you two options. Two hotel options for the inviter to choose. At that time, I had two options. Both two hotels was in Bình Dương province. The first option is the Đại Nam Hotel, and the second option is Saigon Park Resort Hotel. So we choose the Saigon Park Resort Hotel in Bình Dương for a 14-day quarantine.
Well, that's very wonderful to hear. So my second question is, did you have to book it before the flight?
Oh yes, I did have to book it before the flight. As you remember, I booked the hotel 3 weeks before my departure day.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, do you have any difficulty when you book the flight?
First I chose the Đại Nam Hotel, but the hotel was fully booked right after I choose it. So I have to change the hotel to the Saigon Park Resort. From my experience, that when you have to book the flight as soon as possible. When you do the procedure, you should book the flight. This is my experience. Don't wait until you finish everything you book the hotel. If you do that way, the hotel will have no room for you.
So thank you for answering my question. So my next question is, what are procedures for you when you arriving at the airport? Is it difficult?
Yeah, it's a big difficult at the airport. I remember right after my plane touched the ground at the airport. So I have to do health declaration. When I was in US before, I did my health declaration, but they changed the form when I was on the plane. So when I got into South Korea, I had to do it again. So my experience to you, you should declare, you should do the health declaration before you leave US, just about half an hour before you leave US. That's the best way, because they keep changing the form all the time. When you get into the Tân Sơn Nhất airport, you must have the form health declaration fill out. And the second thing that you have to do, they have to test your temperature. They have to use a tool that looks like a gun. The white plastic gun, to test your temperature, to make sure that your body temperature is not above 37 degree. So if, let's say, if you your temperature is about 38 degrees, they stop you and they take you out of the group at the airport. The third one is you have to do immigration. Okay, for the immigration, you have to remember that you must have the new visa or visa on arrival. Okay, so in my case, I have 3 years visa, but the 3 year visa is not, it doesn't work, for the pandemic season. So they have to ask you to apply for the visa on arrival. Okay, and then in this case, you should bring your two passport photo with you in Vietnam, because on the visa they give you before the pandemic, we been cannot be used. Will be gone. You have no visa, so that's why you have to bring a two photo passport in order to apply visa on arrival at the airport. So after you have visa on arrival, okay, you come back to the immigration counter to do the immigration procedure, okay? And with the immigration procedure, they look off your document. You must have 4 different documents from the 4 different authorities in Vietnam to allow you to come Vietnam, plus your new visa on arrival. Okay, so after you go through the immigration, you go downstairs to get your baggage at the baggage claim. Okay, and you have to line up to do one more procedure for health. They check your health again before you get out of the airport. Okay, at the airport, so they close the main gates, so they open the side gate, which is very small. Normally they use a side gate to bring food in, to bring some stuff in a normal day. Okay, but nowadays with the pandemic, they close the main gate. Okay, they use a side gate for passenger, for customer. So, and then after you do the health declaration downstairs next to the baggage claim, you must have people from the Department of Health who come to the airport who receive you, and they sign the paper to receive you at the side gate, and then you're allowed to get out of the airport. Right after you get out of the airport, and there's a van or bus, okay, that can wait for you for outside at the side gate, and you have to get into the van and the bus right away. They do not let you go by yourself. You have to follow them. They have a strict rule at the airport. Okay, and after you get on the van on the bus, and they bring you to the quarantine hotel. Okay, and when you get a quarantine hotel, you're not allowed to get to reception right away like normal day. They stop you outside the hotel, at the main gate of the hotel, and then they use some soft chemical to spray all over your baggage, and they spray all over your body, a front and the back, okay. And after that, they allow you to take your, to protective clothes out, and you throw your protective clothes in the garbage bin, and then you're allowed to get into reception to get the room key.
Yeah, so continue with the question. So you mentioned that the 4 documents you need to bring along when you enter Vietnam. Can you tell me specific what are those documents?
Oh, in fact, there were 5 different documents, not 4. I forgot one document. So 5 documents. The first one, the document from the People Committee of a province or city. The second one is the document from the Department of Health. The third one is the document from the immigration. The fourth one is document from CDC. And the fifth one is the PCR test in US. Before you leave US, you have to do a PCR test just 3 days before you leave US. It costs you about $200 to get this test done. So when you go to any test service center in US, they took something from your nose, and then for testing. It takes them for 2 days to get the test result. They send you the test result via email, okay, and you have to print the email out. You have to bring a test result out, okay, and then you bring with you. So this is the 5th document you have to bring with you. At the gate, before you get into the plane, they ask you for these 5 documents. You have to show them.
Well, so in general, how many tests that you have to take before you get into the flight?
Um, um, I have to test I have to do one intensive test called PCR test at the health service office in Seattle, and at the airport they test my body temperature at the airport, and then after you arrive Vietnam, they also test your body temperature one more time. When you come down to the baggage claim, they test your temperature one more time, four tests. Okay, yeah.
And how much was the room that you used?
Oh, the room hotel is very expensive. I have to pay 2,100,000 dong.
Per night?
Yeah, per night. But that uh, cost include hotel room and 3 meals. Okay, one breakfast, one for lunch, and one dinner. Yeah.
Well, then do you have the menu option to select?
Yes, they give you a menu about 20 dishes, but rice considered as one dish. Soup is considered a second dish. So you have a list of 20 dishes for you to choose breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I see.
Yes.
So they bring it to your room.
Yes, and then you have to choose the food you like in the previous day. Okay, for example, let's say if you want to have the food for Wednesday, so you have to choose the food on Tuesday. Okay, and in front of your room there's a small table. So you have to they give you like a kind of a small form. You tick on that. You choose the food, and you leave the piece of paper, at the table outside your room, right next to your door, your room door. You leave it there, and then that's it for the food you choose for the next day. So, and the next day they bring exact food you choose, okay, they leave it. They put the food on the table for you, and they knock on your door. You open the door and take food. When you open the door, they go away. They left your room very quickly. Yeah, that's how they did that. How they serve you at your room.
How was your experience at the hotel?
My experience in the hotel is it's okay. I'm lucky because I stay at the Saigon Park Resort. There's a yard downstairs, so I can go downstairs to do jogging every day because stay in the room all day long kind of boring. I bring a lot of stuff because in 14 days I did work in my room. I did work in my room in 14 days, so I kind of, time killing, to make you less boring. At least you feel that you were able to do something when you had a 14-day quarantine. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool to know about the story. Now, I want to know that do they test you while you're in your room, and after do they test you again as well?
Every day they did my body temperature test. Um, 2 times, twice a day. The first time they did around 9 a.m. in the morning, and the second test of the day about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, they test your body temperature. For the PCR test, as I said before, that they test you in the third day after you arrive, and they test you on the 13th day. 13 day, just one day before you leave the hotel.
Well, thank you very much for coming with us today. Well, that's a very valuable information that we need to get for our audience. And so if you like this video, please like and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updated information. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.